Hello everyone, it's me again, Amy here. Before I continue my story, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Can people easily get out of the shadows of the past and continue to live a better life? Why do I misunderstand Duan? Why am I in a car accident? Why did Duan rush to save me only to die? It's all because I'm so stupid. Those questions swirled around my mind nonstop after Duan's death. I couldn't stop punishing myself. I had to bury myself in books, studied frantically. This was the only way. I didn't have any time to think about Duan and the death I caused him. Or to be more precise, it was the only way for me to escape the truth. And time passed. My studies were not in vain either. I got a scholarship to a famous university. It was also at this time that my father returned to the family. He did not get his hand dirty. The journey of my mother to find justice to exonerate my father was successful. The police caught those who fabricated false evidence to falsely accuse my father and sent them to prison. Very quickly, after being exonerated, my parents rebuilt their careers together. Our lives were gradually getting better. What we were robbed of before was coming back. Only my Duan couldn't come back. I thought my life would continue like that. It would be the happiest ending for me. But it was not. I met Loan again at university. Coincidentally, she and I had the same major. Amy, it's you again. We're so blessed to have each other. Your life seems good, my old Queen Bee. I thought you wouldn't overcome your feelings after Duan's death. How should I say? It was you who caused the death. After Loan's words, the past events rushed back to my mind. How I was harmed by Loan, how I frantically planned to get revenge on her, how Loan used Duan to deceive me, and how pathetic I was after all that. But I really didn't have the courage to face what happened. I ignored it, pretending not to know Loan. What the hell did you say? Who is Duan? I don't understand what you're saying. Do we know each other? After that, I left, leaving Loan to look at me with confusion in her eyes. I didn't know what she was thinking at the time, but maybe she couldn't think of anything good. In the following days, I deliberately avoided Loan. I pretended I didn't know her. I didn't want to meet her, to continue receiving scornful, hateful words from her. And I didn't want to see her to hear she was reminded of Duan's death. I really couldn't stand it. I really couldn't face it. I wish I would never see her again. If we had to meet again, I just wish I could be invincible, non-existent. I just wanted to live a normal life. Everything that happened was enough for me. But it seemed that it was never enough for Loan. She did not want to leave me in peace. I went to class as usual. I looked around for an empty spot in the back row so as not to draw anyone's attention. But today, something was different. Everyone's eyes looked at me. It was similar to the old eyes when the students from my old school looked at me when the news of my father's arrest for fraud spread throughout the whole school. When I was unjustly accused, and even when I left Duan died. She used to cheat in high school. Don't know who she scammed.
She looks so good looking, but she's cheating?
I heard that the guy died because he rushed to the front of the car to save her. Why do they know these things? Loan, what did she do again? The phone message rang continuously. In my class group, the pictures of me in the past. The image of me holding Duan in front of the car. The image of me leaving the school. What the hell was she doing? I didn't mess with her. Didn't she want me to have a peaceful life? Was what she did to me and my tragic and not enough to satisfy her? I wanted to find Loan to ask her about everything. And then, I caught her arguing with a rough-looking elderly man. I quickly hid in a hidden place.
Don't dream of trying to escape from me. You think you can come to another city that I can't find you? If you don't send money to me regularly, I will report to the police and send you to jail. Someone died there. Do you forget?
How crazy are you to scream like that? I didn't say I would cheat you. Loan took a stack of money and gave it to him. But before giving it, she did not forget to warn. From now on, don't come to my school arbitrarily. She also studies here. If she finds out about it, you and I will go to jail.
Don't worry. Next time, I will call. But don't try to hide from me. Don't force me to do things you don't want me to do.
The man and Loan quickly left. A lot of questions popped in my head. Did Loan hire him to do something illegal? Someone died? Who did she harm to the end? Curiously, I quickly ran after the man. He quickly got into a car and prepared to drive away. That car! Memories of the accident came flooding back. A car drove up to me. Duan rushed in and pushed me away. Duan lay in front of the car.
Do you want to die standing in the middle of a road like that?
The sound of a car horn and the man shouting startled me awake. I quickly moved to the side of the road. The man driving the car passed me. That car! That man! He was the driver of the old car. Was there some secret here? Was this simply an unintentional traffic accident? I thought a lot then. I didn't know if I should continue to investigate to find out the truth or if I should just quietly let it go like I did before. If I stayed silent, I still didn't know what Loan would do to me, to other people. Someone had to die. I had to find out the truth. I had to make her pay for what she did. I asked my father to hire someone to find out information about the man who was driving in the accident that happened before. He worked as a taxi driver and always had to take care of his wife with heart disease, even pledging all the family assets to treat his wife's illness. A year ago, his wife was returned by the hospital because there was no longer enough funding for treatment. After the accident, although he had to pay a large amount of money, he still had money to take his wife for treatment. Where can he get that money from? Could it be that money Loan gave him? I decided to go to the hospital, where his wife was being treated, to see him. At the door of the hospital room, I saw him coming out. When he saw me, he panicked, pretended not to see me, and left. I ran after him to hold him. Eric, do you still remember me?
Sorry, I don't remember meeting you.
I was a victim in the old accident you were driving in. Did you forget? He suddenly got angry with me. I have fully compensated for that. It's been almost a year since the accident, and you're still coming to find me. Leave me in peace. What is your relationship with Loan? Why are you blackmailing her? To cure your wife? You think she'll give you the money forever?
What the hell did you say? I don't know who Loan is. I'm not blackmailing anyone either.
Really? I smiled scornfully and then showed a picture of Eric and Loan when he went to school to ask her for money. Eric froze in shock when he saw my photo, but he quickly brushed it off.
She was just paying for taxi for me. Go home. I have nothing to say to you.
I definitely didn't let him go. I stopped him. I have enough evidence to report you. You think I only have that image?
You lied.
I looked into his wife's hospital room. So, just wait and see. If you get caught, what will your wife do? If you tell me the truth, I promise to take care of all her medical bills. You know my family can afford it. He was silent for a long time until I turned to leave. He fell to his knees, covered his face with his hands, and wept. Turns out, he was hired by Loan to create an accident that hurt me. Loan had promised to give him a large amount of money to ensure that he could treat his wife's illness, and he would not be prosecuted for any criminal responsibility. At the time, when his wife was kicked out of the hospital due to lack of funds, He reached to the end of the road, so he agreed without thinking much. On that day, he followed me to Duan's house.
I didn't think my opportunity would come so quickly. You ran out into the street. I just pretend I was on the road, and someone rushed into my car. So the plan worked. But that kid suddenly rushed out to save you.
It was all too clear. The mastermind of the accident was Loan. Her jealousy towards me made her use any tricks to bring me down, harm me. Then, it was she who caused innocent people to die, caused Duan to die. Right after the conversation with Eric that day, I rushed to see Loan. She was quite surprised when I appeared at her door. But just a few seconds later, she immediately changed her expression of disdain towards me.
What wind brought this loser here? Did you come to ask for forgiveness from me?
I couldn't control my emotions and slapped her. What did I do to you? Why did you make my life so miserable?
You asked me why? It was you who took my place as a queen bee. Why is my beauty, talent, and wealth not recognized by everyone? Am I not as good as you?
Just because of this, you hired someone to hit me with a car? I have to die for you to be satisfied.
Right, you must die.
It was you who hired Eric to drive into me? Is it because of you that Duan can continue to live? Loan stood staring at me. She said nothing. I shook her hard. I wanted her to answer all my questions clearly. You say, why did you do that? Why? What's wrong with Duan? Loan angrily pushed my hand away and then snapped at me.
What's wrong with Duan? He dared to betray me. It was a worthy end for those who betrayed me. You're lucky too.
I really didn't understand why Loan hated me so much. Aren't you afraid you'll pay dearly for what you've done?
Pay? Pay for what? I don't do anything wrong. You have no proof.
As soon as Loan finished speaking, I played the recording of my conversation with the man driving the car to her. She was stunned. Then suddenly, angrily rushed at me trying to steal the phone. But things were not easy for her. I was no longer the Amy who humbled myself before her evil actions. I pushed her to the ground. At this moment, the police siren sounded. Before coming here, I sent the recording of me and the man driving to the police and denounced Loan for the wrong thing she did. Perhaps the police had come to arrest the man by this time. When the police took Loan away, she struggled frantically, insisting that she had done nothing wrong and constantly cursing at me. But that was useless. Evidence from the man himself, from her own mouth, all recorded by me. They would pay a fair price for the evil deeds they had done. I'm Emily, a cute girl with long brown hair and beautiful blue eyes. I'll turn 16 this year. A few weeks ago, because of work reasons, my family decided to move to a new city. After having a farewell party with friends and neighbors, we were ready to start a different life. Today is my first day at my new school. As soon as I entered the school gate, I was attracted by a crowd. I saw several other girls standing in the distance, shouting someone's name excitedly.
Antonio! Antonio!
I looked up curiously and was immediately enchanted by Antonio's bright smile. My heart leaped for joy. That beautiful scene flooded my mind.